Hi, welcome. Today we're going to be talking about entering the Sabbath through the 0 point. So I'm talking about Neville Goddard's idea of the Sabbath specifically, and then we're going to talk about this idea of the 0 point. So if you've never heard of that, it's just a cool, really interesting layer to add to our understanding, to add to our insight, to add to our sense of realization and inspiration. I know that's what it's been doing for me. I'm a little obsessed with this. So that's why I'm going to be talking about this. So this session in particular is my Labyrinthos monthly session. So it's basically my video format newsletter for each month for luxury metaphysical enrichment. So every month I do this. So usually I share an essence for the month that you can co-create with if you want to. It's just something to spark creativity and a unique perspective. I also normally share any insights coming through, just whatever is really strong at the moment that I just feel like, oh, I need to tell everybody. So that's going to be about the 0 point for this one. And then at the end, what I'll do is, since it's my newsletter, basically, I like to share the luxury invitations for the month. So that'll be at the end if you're interested to hear about what I have to offer. So let's get started. And I'm just looking a little bit at my notes so that I can keep myself focused. All right, so I guess maybe let's just touch on Neville Goddard's Sabbath. Like, if you're not familiar, well, I encourage you to go check that out if you're not already into that. There's so many cool, amazing, creative ideas in the Neville Goddard communities, the Law of Assumption communities, so much great stuff. But Neville Goddard has this basically concept or idea of entering the Sabbath. And I'm not going to go too deep into it, but the basic interpretation he has is that, like, once you've done sort of all the work of impressing something onto your subconscious, then you go into the Sabbath where, it is done, it is completed. You go into your rest day and it's not just a day, it's just meant to be like your rest state, right? It's meant to be like you're done, you already have it. You don't need to do anything more. You're basically going into receiving mode or whatever you want to call that. Um, and I mean, there's lots of different interpretations about this. I would say mostly the interpretation that I think is maybe most prominent is that it's a state that you enter. And again, there's different interpretations about like when do you go into this state? Like, is there a set time point? Like, do you need to impress things on your subconscious for a long time before you go into the Sabbath? Or is it just like a natural thing where it just happens when you know it's just done? And I think it's a combo of all those things. If you have your own interpretation, you can comment and let us know like if you have a unique specific one. Um, what I'm going to talk about is this idea of a 0 point. So this idea, now I believe there is, oh gosh. Okay, I don't want to talk about this in every direction. Even though that's what I tend to do. I mean, there is a reason I call this Labyrinthos monthly. Like, I tend to create in a very labyrinth-like style in my life. That's just how I like to do things. So I often go off in a lot of tangents and then I bring it together. And that's just how I enjoy being creative in my life and in my reality. So that's why it's called that. But I'm gonna try not to go crazy. So I'm just gonna get to where I came across this term of 0 point and how it relates to Neville's Sabbath. So I'm specifically taking this idea from Karen Cheong from spherical luminosity. And I'm going to post this replay on YouTube. So I'm going to post in the underneath in the description, I'm going to give you links to all of Karen's stuff and all her stuff at Spherical Luminosity about 0 point so that you can kind of go on a little side quest and just discover how she talks about it. Because she is amazing the way she talks. She's a very centered person, which when you hear about 0 point, you'll know why. So she talks with great authority, great focus, definitely somebody living in their 0 point. Um, oh, there's so many things I want to say already. I'm like, oh, that's the Labyrinthos part of me. And basically, okay, this is very, very simple. Like I said, I'll link to her so you can go in on a deeper dive. But it is the absolute center point in your body. That's where you find the 0 point. It is a coordinate between time and space. It's where basically the infinite, the formless infinite meets form. So, and it's in the center point of your body. Um, I guess we could say, I don't know, would it be exactly the solar plexus? I mean, it's in between. I've heard contradicting things about where the solar plexus is. Like some people say it's like right here under your sternum, and then others it's a little bit lower. The 0 point though is like between, you can see like your sternum's here, and then you got your belly button and the in-between point. That's where the 0 point is, but it's right in the center of your body. So you want to go a few inches deep inside. So you're literally focusing on the very center. So it's something that I really like about Karen's stuff with spherical luminosity is I definitely see things in this kind of multidimensional manner or definitely 3D manners. So for me, stuff about chakras and whatnot has never made sense. And I think it's because a lot of the pictures are 2D. And like to me, it doesn't resonate to have energy points on the front of my body, which they're not. But sometimes that's the impression I can get. Whereas we're going straight to the center. And I literally see it like a 0 point. Like it's not just a point. I see it like a zero. Like it is like a little hole. Like it's um yeah, that's just what I'm seeing. I go more into this and I'll talk about where you can find where I go into more detail about this, but it's in the center. It's like a hole where, and this is another thing that I love about how Karen describes this, it's where your reality is rendering. So if we are like, say, giant projectors and we are projecting our reality out, that is where that reality is rendering. And I just really love this. So if this, you can buy into this or not. You're creating your reality. You can decide what you want to take and what you don't want to. I'm sharing this because for me, it really resonates so deeply with me. Like I can really, really feel that point within myself. It is very visceral for me. It is brings me into such a great state of relief and what I'm going to call the Sabbath. I can feel that feeling of absolute fulfillment and completeness when I put my awareness there. So that's why I want to share that because I love the viscerality of it, because sometimes when people talk about metaphysical concepts, especially like um, when we're talking about Neville Goddard and states, it can be very ethereal, very sort of metaphorical sometimes, right? It can feel airy-fairy, which there's nothing wrong with that. I love airy-fairy, but what I really love about the 0 point is just, although ironically it is a 0 point, it is a whole. So it's interesting how that kind of I don't know. I'm gonna go off on another tangent. To me, it just feels interesting because I literally do see it like a whole, like a portal within yourself. And yet it does feel very concrete to me. So that's why I really wanted to share it because it's like sometimes people are, when am I in the Sabbath? How do I get into the Sabbath? And I mean, I'm sure you all also have your own answers and your own way of experiencing that sense of fulfillment and completeness. The invitation here really is just to deepen into that and to go deeper into your center. That's all I'm inviting you into. I know you're already centered and you already know how to do that. This is just a new pathway to like take you even deeper and discover another aspect of this. That's how it's been for me. I'm just like, oh, it's just so good because it's so specific, right? I'm not like, oh, did I do it? Am I in it? It's like, no, when I feel into it, I'm in it and it's quick right away. And I will quickly share another sort of thing that Karen says. Again, I'm going to link to her stuff so you can watch it. But another aspect of this that I love that she shares is she always says, like, she'll kind of like bring you into the center point through her meditations. And then she says, you have to ask yourself this question as you go into your 0 point. How can I become even more aware of my connection only to pure source? So that's the question you ask yourself as you focus on your 0 point, as you focus all your awareness there. However, that looks like for you. There's a lot of different ways, and she offers some ways too. But I just wanted to share that because to me, that is entering the Sabbath. That is how I've experienced it. As soon as I do it, it's the Sabbath immediately, right away. It's not a state, like you can, of course, call it a state, but I'm not like sitting there trying to get into a state. I'm just bringing my awareness there, feeling my reality rendering there. Oh, that feeling is so amazing. That's part of what I really like. And I think maybe why I'm so excited to share this and why I'm like obsessed and I'm just like, I'm not going to stop talking about this is because since I've been doing this like on a very consistent basis, which I can't help it. Because I love it, I just keep doing it and I keep going there all the time. And I have done that in the past too I've had other avenues that I brought myself into that center point. But this way right now for me is just so simple, so easy, so quick. And I immediately feel, yeah, a complete sense of fulfillment, a sense of completion, complete sense of, living from the end. And again, I guess the reason I was so excited about it is I see things output so quickly in my reality since I've been doing this. That's been the biggest thing. Like, I have seen things output quickly before, but sometimes it can be, let's say, hit or miss, or some things output and some things don't. But since I've been kind of just doing this and centering on my 0 point, I literally for myself, and I go into this in another video that I'll share with you guys if you want to learn more about it. Um, I literally see almost like a vortex and I feel it. I can feel this vortex of creation and like my reality rendering. And so if I'm the projector of reality and and everything is rendering here, like the first thing that, solidifies is actually your body, and then outwards everything else around you. Like that's how I'm experiencing it. And if I just think about something that I want to be experiencing, and then I go and I just feel it rendering, and I just feel that sense of completeness and fulfillment of just like being at home in my 0 point. Yeah, I've been seeing things around me come to fruition very, very quickly. And I'm loving the speed, consistency, the ease, the flow, and just I sigh a lot in my videos. It's such a sense of relief. I just feel so at home, so at ease. It feels so good. So please try that out for yourself. And like I said, I will link to Karen stuff so you can really go in and do, she's got these little meditations that you can do and experience the 0 point in a really quick, effective manner with her. I mean, you can just do it from what I said, but I think it's great. It's free on YouTube, so I will link you there so you can go and explore that and try it for yourself. And then please come back and let me know what your experience is because, like I said, mine has been so amazing, so good. So like I can't really shut up about it. Um, and now again, we are, you are, I am, we are the creators of our reality. So is it the 0 point that is like the key, the answer? No, the answer is always you. So this isn't like some magical answer or whatever, but I mean, it might be in this moment for you. For me, it feels like it in this moment. But I just kind of want to remind you, I I mean, I like to remind myself. So I'm just reminding myself, like, we are the creators of our reality. It's not the 0 point that is so powerful, like it's us. But I know that for me, this helps me connect to myself and my power so quickly. And it really does other times in my life that I have connected to this, like it brings everything together for me in a really nice way. So it's like it's not something new that I'm offering here. I'm just bringing together new perspectives. And I feel like that's what we're always doing, right? We're gathering new perspectives and new ways of seeing things so that we can delight ourselves over and over again in our realities because everything's already done, everything's created, but we can still have these amazing just like feelings of and experiences of realization and discovery. And I know those are ones that I love so much. Like I always want to be in like an adventure and a sense of discovery. So that is my little gift to you. So yeah, please feel it right now, even feel the difference because just by us talking about it and bringing our awareness to it, we are doing it. So you don't have to go on the side quest if you're already feeling it. But like I said, if you feel good, if you're enjoying it, it might be worth it to go on the side quest to just deepen and explore some more. Um, yeah, and I did talk about the Sabbath. So yeah, so to me, I feel like that's entering the Sabbath rather than looking at the Sabbath as a state. Like Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is within you. And so to me, it just feels like that point in the middle of your body, that feels like it's like the pearly gates and or it's the eye of the needle that the camel must go through. What's another metaphor? There's so many. Like I feel like once you start thinking about it, you're just gonna think of so many. Um, the pearl of great price. I just feel like all of that is that center point to me. That's what it's feeling like. Really like the eye of the needle because like I said, I do keep seeing that it's like a portal hole type thing. So yeah, and this month's essence, surprise, surprise, for luxury metaphysical enrichment is 0 point, kind of mixed with blessed with innocence. So I'm going to be exploring the 0 point more so and even deeper. And the blessed with innocence essence, like maybe the combination. So it's gonna be a little bit different when I combine blessed with innocence with the 0 point, it comes across to me like a blank white page and just like a total reset. And it feels so good, like just like an amazing reset. I'm just thinking about like what do I want to compare it to? I don't know, just like I don't know, a clean house when you've cleaned your house and it's sparkly and new and That's just the feeling that I'm feeling. Or when you start a new fresh notebook or something, right? Oh my gosh. That's kind of what the essence for February that I'm feeling. And I was very surprised. I didn't expect to. Last month's essence, if you want to go back, I did Sunset Serendipity, totally different, pink, sunset colors, fun and magic. And I mean, this month I'm experiencing so much magic too, but the essence for this month though is just very, very kind of low key, relaxed, definitely kind of receiving mode and just relaxing and letting everything fall into your lap and just enjoying it and celebrating it and having a great big sigh of relief and just feeling the spaciousness of freedom. And that, again, that spaciousness of a blank space and full possibility to do whatever you want and to restart whatever you want. Forget anything you want to forget and just start from point zero. So that's really the essence that I want to invite you into for this month if it resonates with you. If you want to kind of, how can you start integrating that into just whatever you're doing, whatever you're thinking about, whatever you're creating this month. Yeah, like you can also think about specific areas of your life. Like, is there an area of your life you just want to reset? Just delete everything off the hard drive and just see what happens. Start again. Because the great feeling that I've had with all of this is just this feeling of like when you're so centered in your operant in your like source of operant power, you really can feel so secure that that external circumstances don't matter. Like you can literally go and delete everything. You can literally burn everything to the ground, delete everything, throw it all out. And if it comes back, if you need it, it will come back. It will reappear like out of thin air or something. Like you don't need to worry about it. You are covered. You're gonna have everything you need no matter what you do. Your godhood is more powerful than your actions. That's another sort of feeling that's coming through with blessed with innocence and that 0 point feeling. Those two essences together. It's just like, yeah, your actions are not important. Just knowing who you are, being so like innocent in who you are. That is enough. And just feel into that in your 0 point. Like if you go into your 0 point, maybe take a deep breath, feel, sense, or imagine where that point is. Like I said, I like to see like a vortex. Right, that's you're gonna see whatever you see. I'm just gonna share with you what I feel and see. But you do you, whatever you end up seeing, but just to sort of inspire, like the one thing I keep seeing is literally like a vortex, like a twister, like a tornado type thing that is like rendering everything around me and it feels so good. And then it also feels good because it's not a tiny tornado. Like it's going out into the whole universe, but it's centered here. And then it builds a lot of energy around my heart space, or I like to call it the heart verse. If you know me, if you followed me, it's the heart universe. I like to live in that space a lot. So I feel it. I feel that energy rendering and moving into my heart space. I feel so good. And then the other sort of imagery or feeling that I've been seeing also is like a fountain, one of those tall fountains of water, like overflowing. And it's just such a beautiful, fresh feeling. So yeah, however you imagine that, if you want to comment it and let us know, that would be amazing too. I would love to hear other ways people are experiencing that. Let's see how much time. We've got a few more minutes. Is that all I wanted to say? I think that's all I wanted to say for that. So I'm just gonna get to my offerings for this month, and I guess to tie in. I do have a little 0 point package that I'm going to make available. Um, and we'll see. It might keep building and adding, but it's just going to be a small little package where there's another video where I talk about this. So you have two options. Like if you are resonating with the way I'm talking about this, like if you want to hear more of how I'm experiencing this, other sort of aspects of this, I did a call, I don't know, last week or something, um, in my subscription space called Sanctuarium. So one option is you can join that, and there's a replay in there of that call. Now that's if you kind of want to join sort of a heaven on earth community, that's in Sanctuarium. That's if you're being called into sort of a community space, a space where we're holding a high frequency of energy together and really mm, intentionally bringing in heaven on earth. Yeah, so if you want to sort of come into a group energy around that, that's in Sanctuarium. And I have the 0 point replay where I talk about for like over an hour into more depth about some of the realizations I was having in that. And there's stuff around time, being outside of time, coming back into time, going on a side quest outside of time, kind of time travel stuff to do around the 0 point. So if that speaks to you, you can find that there. Now, if you're not being called into sort of a community subscription thing like Sanctuarium, I also have a specific little package that I'm going to post in the description. It's just going to be a 0 point package. It's going to be like $30 or something. And they'll have that call replay. I will, link all the resources and because I'm going to be talking about this a lot, there might be more resources that come into it over time if they feel like they should be in there. But if you just want 0 point and you don't want anything else, from me, from my perspective, then you can find that there. So that's one offering, and I'm like so psyched about that. I'm just 0 point is just rocking my world right now. I just love it. And I think I talk about it in that other longer call. But like I've been hearing that or been seeing that term 0 point everywhere around me for like months. And so when that came up, I was just so happy because like I knew I needed this. I've been looking for this. I created that I was looking for this and I found it. So it's awesome. The other invitation that I have this month is so what I do is I offer what I call immersive discovery quests or side quests. Um, and the immersive discovery quests are iQuests for short. And so these are just contemplative containers to just be creative and tap into really just who you are in the most creative and deep way. Um, I don't centrally consider myself a manifestation coach, although I'm in that area, um, because I believe everyone knows how to manifest. I don't like, you don't need to know how to, sorry, I got a weird bang. Anyways, everyone knows how to do it, and there's so much stuff out there about like teaching you how to do it, but like everyone knows how to do it. So I don't offer that. You already know how. It's not about that. It's really about having more fun, being more playful, going on your own internal adventures within yourself. That's really the essence of it. Because I find the more I play and have fun, the more things manifest for me. So my programs are about tapping into your personal power and creativity in your life as a conscious creator. I know I talked about Neville here, and I love Neville, but I am not like a Neville follower. I don't consider myself to be affiliated with that. Like, I really believe that we all create in different ways. And so that's sort of my focus is to hone you into the way that you like to create and like celebrate you in your own unique creativity because there's infinite ways to create your reality. There's no one right way. Like there isn't. We're always creating new ways of creating. And so that's sort of what I'm like obsessed with. I love seeing how my own creative process unfolds and um how I come across sort of new ways of creating my reality that feel really good and fun to me. And the side effect of that is manifesting. That's the side effect. And I find it's so much easier to manifest when you're not focusing on it, when it's the side effect, right? So that's the kind of stuff that I offer. And so right now, the main iQuest that I'm offering is called Benedictus, which is around this philosopher called Spinoza, which I studied for many, many years. Like I literally did a PhD on him. And he's somebody I'm so excited for this month because I'm going to talk about him and Zero Point because I believe he was very tuned into his Zero Point, which I think is why I've always been attracted to his philosophy. And he's got a lot of radical points of view, unlike anybody else. And so that's why I always kind of come back to him. I love sharing him. I love sharing the weird ways he thinks because it is such an inspiration for my creativity. And I know that if it's something that you're drawn to, it's going to inspire your creativity in like really cool ways that you just wouldn't think of. I can't even describe how because the creativity is just off the chain, like so it's going to come through in really unexpected, delightful ways. So that is another invitation right now that I have. So it's the Benedictus iQuest, and it's the Blessed with Innocence edition. So unless something changes, the iQuest that I have that's going to start in May, the spring iQuest, is going to be called Conscious Innocence. So right now we're kind of in this in-between space. So I'm calling it Blessed with Innocence. We're gonna explore some themes in Spinoza with innocence. And right now, obviously, this month, we're definitely doing Spinoza and Zero Point and how that ties into innocence. So it's gonna be really fun if that calls to you. I will put some info down in the description on that. And finally, my final offering, my final invitation this month is I have a private one-on-one immersive discovery quest spot open. And this one, I'm so excited, is called Odyssey 2025, Living Your Most Mythical Status. So that is just, there's one spot and it's just a one-on-one, a high-level one-on-one where we create our own iQuest together, and it's going to be whatever you want it to be, but like just the overarching theme is Odyssey. So I love that. It's just such a big adventure. So mythical, legendary, that kind of vibe, seeing like ancient Greece. It doesn't mean we have to go into that. It's just that kind of level of epicness. Like, ah, I love that feeling. And then, yeah, living into your mythical status. So, like, you're not just a legendary being, you are a mythical being. What are you if you're a mythical being? Who are you as a mythical being? What kind of god or goddess are you on a mythical level where myths are what's the word I'm looking for? Are shared about you, where people talk about you in mythical ways because that's how incredible you are and your life is, that you are at a mythical status. All right, I think that's all I have to say for today. Yay, I didn't talk forever and ever. All right, thanks so much for being here with me. And yeah, we'll see you next time. Bye for now.